So Dagath and Wrathful Advance have a very strange interaction right now. Specifically, Dagath with the augment to her third ability, Spectral Spirit. Her third ability, Grave Spirit, normally when you would use it, would send you into a state where you have extra critical damage on all your weapons, and you are effectively in a escape death state, where if you would take lethal damage, this ability would instead save you, and you would go into spectral form for a brief period of time. Instead, her augment changes that ability where you go immediately into spectral form, so you're invincible, which scales with ability duration, and all of your abilities and weapons apply doom. This augment in specific and Wrathful Advance have some very weird interactions right now. So this is the build I'd normally use with the Gath. I'm going to take off ability duration mods just to make this easier to demonstrate. I'll show you exactly what I mean. So let's spawn some level 125 Corrupted Heavy Gunners, grab some energy. Now, if we go over here and we tap these guys with an Akino, I have 63% critical chance, so we're hitting normal crits. It's normal. So if we use Wrathful Advance, I get 243 more critical chance, and we're hitting reds. Great. You learned how Wrathful Advance works. So if we go back, and we spawn in some more heavy gunners, and we pop Wrathful Advance, and then Great Spirit, excuse me, and then we kill some enemies. Go quickly spawn in some more guys. You will notice when I hit another enemy, I am now hitting reds permanently. So, for whatever reason, when you pop Wrathful Advance and then pop Grave Spirit with her augment, and you kill some enemies, when Wrathful Advance ends, for whatever reason, you will keep the critical chance buff because of Grave Spirit. I have no idea why this is the case, but it is extremely good, as you can probably tell. So if you have any external ability strength buffs, like for example, Lua Conjunction Survival, the Wandering Traveler, or whatever his name is, you go in and he gives you an ability strength buff. You use Wrathful Advance and Grave Spirit, kill some enemies in that bubble. Now you have the buffed Wrathful Advance permanently. You can go anywhere on the map, you have it, you never have to pop the ability again. Cool. Now, that's not why this is interesting. What truly makes this interesting is the fact that this effect can stack. So I'll show you exactly what I mean. If you go and hit a guy, I'm hitting reds, as you can see. Let's go clear these guys out. Just wanted some more heavy gunners. Let me do this again. Wrathful Advance, Grave Spirit. Kill some enemies. Let's go spawn in some more gunners. You will notice I'm hitting double to triple exclamation point red crits. So clearly, after doing that twice, the effect stacked, and now I'm hitting triple exclamation point red crits. Now, what's interesting about that is that you can keep stacking this as much as you want. So this is really, really, really good for endless missions where you're going to stay like a survival for 25, 30, 40, however many minutes, where you can keep doing this over the course of that. And eventually you will hit the integer limit with crits. You will get like an overflow and you will start hitting negative 2 billion every hit. Now, I don't know how accurate that is because I feel like to most enemies that would just be an instant kill, but it's not for some reason. So I don't know if it's just a visual bug, but it's still very good nonetheless. So yeah, all in all, this Dagath build is really solid. being able to be effectively immortal through the invincibility that Spectral Form gives you, and being able to get Spectral Form back really quickly when you're outside of it, just by getting some kills, is very nice. Also, when you're outside of Spectral Form, being able to Shield Gate with the Brief Respite and an Augur mod is very solid, specifically with her 4 Recalli, which has a pretty high drain. Also, using Arcane Ice Storm for the strength and duration buff that it gives you on freeze, 2 things that you want exactly for this build. It's very good for weapons like the Glaxion, and also the new Okina Incarnate, which launches cold daggers out that immediately freeze, pretty much giving you free stacks of Arcane Ice Storm just for using the weapon. This is the build that I am currently using. It's been very, very solid so far, but you can use pretty much anything on Dagath with this build, any melee pretty much, and it's going to be very strong. One last thing, I'm using 2 Talforged Crimson Archon shards for 15% ability duration for more invincibility during Spectral Form. I'm using 1 Talforged Emerald Archon shard for the more consistent armorship if I'm using a weapon like the Glaxion that has corrosive on it. 1 Talforged Violet shard for the equilibrium effect for all of the health orbs that you're going to be dropping while in Spectral Form. And the most important shard, the Amber Archon shard for the casting speed. So when you're outside of Spectral Form, you can do shield gating a bit easier because our forward does take quite a bit of time to cast. So yeah,